In this video, we're going to look at making a magic ring and maybe some of the issues that you might face when making a magic ring. So to start with, we're going to look at what it looks like on your crochet pattern. So that's this first line. So MR and then single crochet 6. So we need to make a magic ring and then you're going to single crochet 6 into that magic ring. So let's have a look at how we make our magic ring. So take the yarn in the palm of your hand. So you're going to cross it over and leave a nice long tail. So that's this part where it's not attached to anything else. Wrap the yarn around your 2 fingers. So you've just created a loop at the back, but you've still got the tail at the front. So we wrap it around those 2 fingers and create a cross. So on the palm side of our hand, we've got a cross with the tail underneath the cross. If we flip our hand over, we now have 2 parallel lines. I'm going to refer to this one, so this is the one closest to my end of my fingers, as line number 1, and this is going to be line number 2. So to start our magic ring, we place our hook under line 1 and pull through line 2. We then turn our hook. So we've got 1 loop in it, so it's a 1 turn. So from there, we turn. And then we need to pull line 1 again. And it's kind of moved a little bit, so it's back here under that finger. So this is parallel line 1, and we need to go for line 2 that's going diagonally across there. So we loop up line number 2, and we pull it through. If you notice, everything's very loose. You can wiggle your hook and nothing's tight. If it's tight, you need to loosen your grip on your yarn. Otherwise, you won't be able to pull it through. So from here, our tail is intertwined. So you need to unwrap it from the circle that we've just created. Okay, so this is what it should look like. And from here, you should then be able to very easily and gently pull your yarn through. With this yarn, you can see it happening on this already because I've used it before, but there's a gap that started to be created in the fluff. And that's because you haven't been very gentle with it or you've pulled it through. And if that happens, make sure that you don't just keep pulling. What you can do is hold on to this strand here and pull it through like that and almost guide it through yourself. Once you've done that, you can then start crocheting into your magic ring. So to crochet into your magic ring, you need to crochet around the tail and the circle. So we go under or in between the circle, yarn over, and pull through. You've got 2 loops on your yarn or on your hook. Yarn over, pull through, and again. So you go into the centre of your circle, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through. So we've now done 2 single crochets in our magic ring. So we need to do 4 more. So you go into the circle, remember around the tail and the circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So we'll do this one nice and slowly. So you go into the circle, like that, yarn over, so I'm pulling this piece of yarn over and pulling through. I then yarn over again, so I've now got 3 loops on my hook and I pull through. So we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need 2 more. So into the centre, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Now, a lot of my stitches are quite loose. They're not tight. You shouldn't be pulling on it really tightly, otherwise you won't be able to pull that yarn through. So if I did this and it was really tight, can you see how tight that is on my hook? If you look at this part here, it's really tight. There's no room for movement. And again, it's created a stitch that's really small. That's not going to allow the yarn to pull through nice and easily. So when you're working with this yarn, it's really important that you make sure that it's just a loose stitch. So everything about it, I've just got it wrapped around my finger. It's very loose. I'm not pulling on it in any way. It's just happening. The yarn is doing the work. I'm just here to make the stitch. So now we've done 6. And we're going to pull our yarn through to make our magic circle. So we've got 6 stitches in our magic circle. So if you're struggling with the magic ring and you're struggling predominantly to pull this through once you've done your stitches, when you've started like this, just hold it gently and pull it through slightly. So if you can see, I'm actually struggling to pull it through there because I've created a little crevice. So just hold it gently on that part and just pull a little bit through. That way you know it's going to move. And then if you do a couple of stitches, so we're going to do 1, 2, and I know that this area here is a problem area, so I'm just going to pull it through slightly to make sure that it's okay. And it's actually harder to keep using this yarn. So if you've already used it and made some little dips in it like that, it will become harder. So you just need to be a bit more conscious about what you're doing. So we've made 2 stitches there and I've already started to pull through. So we're going to do our 3rd, and I'm just going to pull it through slightly again, and our 4th. And just pull it through again slightly, and then I know that I can just crochet into there and my hook will fit. So that's my 6 stitches, and then it's only got a small way to pull through. So you have to be really careful if you don't hold it or grip it tightly or properly. So I'd recommend doing it flat between your fingers and pulling it so you've really got a good grasp on it, and it's further down the end of your tail, otherwise these pieces will come off. If you just pull it gently like that, they'll come off in your fingertips. So you need to hold it slightly further down and with a slightly firmer grip, and that will make your magic ring. So if you're really struggling with the magic ring and you just cannot make it work, there's another method to make this circle. So it's similar as before. So we put the tail on the palm of our hand, we cross over the back of our fingers, so we've got that line there, and we make a cross. So again, we've got our cross on the palm of our hand, we turn it over and we've got our 2 parallel lines. If we pull the loop through, but this time we're not going to do anything else, we simply make it into a knot, like so. And this is how you start off a chain stitch. So we're going to do 2 stitches. So we've got 1 loop on our hook, we're going to yarn over, pull through, we've made 1 stitch, yarn over, pull through. That's 2 stitches. We're now going to work into our first stitch 6 times. So we go into the centre of it, like that. So we've just gone in, and you don't have to be too precious about where you've gone. We're going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So that's stitch number 1. We're then going to go in again, and we're going to make our stitch number 2. Okay, so again, we're going back into this first stitch, and that's this hole here. We're going into the same place again to make stitch number 3. And again for stitch number 4. So we've now got 4 stitches, so we carry on going, stitch number 5 and stitch number 6. So we've now made a circle again, but using a stitch rather than the magic ring, and it makes exactly the same shape. You just might find it a little bit easier if you're really struggling with that magic ring. And you finish it off in exactly the same way. So you'd go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And that's now starting on round 2. So that's another way to make a circle without using the magic ring.